Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Come On in the Den. I am your hostess with the mostest, Kitty Lane. I think I'm ready today. Wow, that's unusual to say the least. But I am so happy to be here. Like I said, I am your baby boomer, Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia. You are here in Create and Relate with me. And this is Come On in the Den, Think Thursday. Yay! We are in the middle of our week and we have so much to go over today. First of all, I'm happy to see each and every one of you. And of course, you know that I'm going to be looking back and forth at the TV so that I can make sure that I get everybody's comments. Thank you, David. So we will start today with our welcome, of course. And in our welcome, we cover our subs and our watch hours. And right now, our subscriber count is at 479. 479, guys. That means we have 21 to go. And our watch hours, oh my goodness, they're going up and up and up every day. They are currently at 1,791.6. We need just a little over 1,200 watch hours. I'm super excited. I am so super excited. Today I have notes in 3 different books and the sticky pad. I told y'all I'd be using these. So if you ever want to send me any happy mail, I always love sticky notes. I love them. I love them. I love them. Okay, so diving into today, I want to, of course, talk about the thoughts in the ticker. So my mood today, quite honestly, my mood 13 minutes ago was like at a 9. Something happened. I don't know if you all felt it or not, but everything went dark for like a quick moment. And it was just like, and I don't mean electricity going out. It went dark outside. It was just dark for like a blink. But something happened in that moment. I felt a surge, and it's like a surge of energy. So my mood went from a 9 to a 10. My health, I have not been up. I've just been here on the bed. I'm going to keep it at a 9 just to say, that it's there. But I feel good. I feel really, really, really good. So that will put my overall at a 9.5. Go us. We are getting there. And I think what I have for you today is not only interesting, but engaging as well. I do ask that you please remember to hit that like button. If you know anyone who has not subscribed, share my videos so that they can become subscribers too. And please, please, please leave comments, whether you're in here with me now or you're watching it on replay. All of that helps in the algorithm. And pretty soon, we gonna get to that level, y'all. Super excited. Super excited. Okay, so thus far, you know what we're working on. We are working on the Taco Tuesday, which 2 of the 4 challenges I got done. I'm trying to remember. I did not do the heart-shaped pillow. The 5 minutes crochet a day, yes. Using up the scraps and the stash, yes. Working on those. But the heart-shaped pillow I have not done. I know that it's something that can be done quickly, and I have until Tuesday to do it, so we're going to get it done. The placemats, not so sure. I might not. I haven't decided yet. But that's what I love about challenges. They're not mandatory. They are optional, and I do like having that option. I'm also working on the carpenter's wheel. And that's the challenge that Michelle of Yes Michelle offers. And since I made all my squares the wrong size in January, what I told myself was, after I realistically thought about it, and I only need 64 squares, if I get 2 done a day, then by the end of the month, I should have 56 squares. And that'll only leave 8 squares left to do. And then it's just a matter of putting them together. So by March 4th, if I keep up with the 2 a day, I should have all of my squares done. And then it'll just be a matter of putting them together. I'm so excited to see how that's going to play out. And then after that, I am working on the Stitcherhood. Right now, that's conceptual. I know that once I get it done, once I get it all figured out, what colorway I'll be using, because I have the pattern. I'm definitely going to do this. It does not take long at all. The longest part is making the foundation row. So I'm definitely going to do this pattern. And that's going to be my first Stitcherhood blanket for the domestic violence shelter in Dallas, Texas. So that's going to be done. I'm also the Make 9. I watched that. I have not participated in that because I have so many projects that I want to get done over the course of the year. I think my summer project is going to be my robe. I do know that it is on the works to be done, and I know that I want to at least start it and get most of the way into it this year. So I'm not rushing myself to do it. I'm focusing more on the 7-inch squares, the challenge that I have presented to everyone. And it's my duty to make sure I get that out to you. With that being said, I hope you've seen the 3 videos that have been dropped for this month so far. One was just a refresher on the corner to corner. I know that I do personally have 2 people in my life who have trouble with the decreasing of the corner to corner, and I wanted to make sure they got it. But if anybody sees it and you need any help at all, my email address is in the description box. Don't hesitate to reach out. I will do everything I can to help you through that process. Okay. Then there is what I call the Timothy X. The Timothy X is going to be an extra wide scarf. This panel had already been worked up, and I went 60 stitches across, and I realized that that was more like a wrap. And the last thing this gentleman said to me in his request is, quote, quote, "Don't make me look like a sissy," unquote. Those are his words, not mine. But I understood what he meant. So I didn't want to make it too wide like a wrap. His favorite color is purple. So I decided to go with the purple. I reduced it down to 45 stitches across. These are all half double crochet. I decided to keep the stitch simple because of the fact that it is for a man. I'm going to make it in more like blocks or wide stripes. This is going to be the biggest portion. The next portion is a variegated purple. And then I'm going back to this. So I'm going to alternate between the 2. These are going to, this, because the scarf is going to have 2 pockets on it, one on each end. And that's simply for convenience for him. So I'm working on that. And my goal here is to do 10 to 20 rows a day. Only 45 stitches across. Not a problem. Now, what I have started doing, what I did include myself in, is on Jaxie's channel, Creations by Jax. She's doing what's called a blancho. She has taken a blanket. I don't know when my phone started going dark. I am actively recording. Okay, but she has taken a blanket and turning it into a poncho. And I followed the first part of it. And with me being a bit of a radical, I love where it was going. I did. But once I got the concept, I kind of changed it because this bonus part, once you get past the first round, you're supposed to add bobbles. I'm not excited about bobbles up around my neck. So I am going to continue the bodice down to just below the breast line. And then I'm going to start adding a design element so that that will be at the bottom flowy part. But the top part will be covered and protected. And that's, where that warmth is. And then the bottom part will basically be for show. I like this yarn that I'm using. I did win this. And this is the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. It is 80% Peruvian Highland wool and 20% Denagle tweed. Each one of these, and I had 4, are 110 yards. I also added, pull it out, the Christmas Starlight by, I say hobby, because it's 2 B's, and following the laws of English, it sounds like hobby to me. Some people say hobby, but that's what this colorway is. I have to make sure I keep it in the light so you can see it. It's got little gray, like a really, really thin, it looks like thread that runs through the material. I don't think I saw a colorway for it. No, it wasn't. It was just a number, and the number is number 3. And it just says Starlight Christmas, 60% wool, 25% polyamide, and 15% polyester. It's 50 grams, and it's 70 yards. Both of these are a full weight. And when I get to the bottom part, I will be using this. And this is the Snuggly Wuggly. It is 446 yards, 5 ounces. Now this says it's a 3-weight, but it's a thick 3-weight. It's a pretty thick 3-weight. And it is 100% acrylic. So I am doing the acrylic and wool together, along with the polyamide and the polyurine and the polypolys and the, yeah. So that's what we're working on there. This part that I did right here, and with the foundation that I used, which I think was presented by Trish Mama Swift, took about 45 minutes. Yeah, it took about 45 minutes, all total. And that was working it, deciding what I was going to do, frogging a little, figuring out my stitch count, all that good stuff. So to go back and do it again would probably take much less time. I know that I'm a fast crocheter, but what I'm saying when I give you times is telling you that it doesn't take very long at all, even for someone who doesn't have as much experience. Bear with me for a second, guys. I got a little lightheaded. Okay. I think I'm here. Okay. Another thing that I want to do, I want to stay up on my hats. So I am planning on making a hat today. Don't know what kind of hat yet. I don't even know the colorway or anything. I can tell you that more than likely I will be using my 6.0 Susan Bates. Either that or my 5.5. I'm slowly fading back into the 5.5, possibly down to a 5.0. But these are the three that I keep beside me, and that's the I, the J, and the K. 5.5, 6.0, and 6.5. Those are the three that I basically work with. Now, I know you all saw my ball bands for November, December, and these are my ball bands for January. What I want to do with you all is to show you how I wrap these up. And I am tearing a page from my book. Okay. Just the page. Okay. I just simply take my paper and fold it and make sure I label it. And it just says January 2026. And then I took all of my ball bands and I wrap my date around them, making sure I get everybody in there. And it's okay if the paper doesn't meet, because I use my trusty tape. And I tape them all together in a little pack. And this goes on one of the little totes that I have over there. I just keep my ball bands. And what's the purpose of keeping the ball bands? If, being that I have started writing down everything that I make, if and who it was for, you know, little things about it so that I'll know. If somebody says, hey, you remember that green and orange sweater you made me? Can I get another one of those? Then I can go back to November when I made them, excuse me, and go through the ball bands, because I know from the notes that I wrote down that it was all mainstay yarn. And if it's not simple, you know, like if I don't remember that it was green instead of turtle shell green, or, you know, something like that, I can go through my ball bands and look at my ball bands and tell. Sometimes what I do is write on the inside of my ball band what project I made. And then I can go back and look on the insides of those ball bands and pull up the colorway and all the specifics. So, okay. So we did the ball band thing. Yay, that's done. And so far I have 2 that I've done for February. The other have been scraps, or they didn't have a ball band. I know I've done more than 2 little balls of work in February. So, and one of those was one of the cakes. 2 of those actually, and that was the 2 little rainbow cat hats. They were done with the cakes. So I was able to get those done. Okay, so our tale for today. I call this track meet tail tuck. So at some point in our lives, basically our teenage years, if we really think back, we were as radical to the seniors of that time as the teenagers are today are to us. I still think we were better, but it's the same level of, disdain in seniors. But if you go back and you think about that time, that was a very confusing time in our lives. That was an awakening. It was like the first awakening. There was confusion. There was turmoil. There was lack of understanding. There was so much that was going on because this is the first time in your life you are really approaching adulthood. And you know that you got to leave a lot of childish things behind. You know that there are no more doll babies, are no more, playing on the jungle gyms and all these kinds of things that you did as a small child. You're advanced now, and you're supposed to be older. You're supposed to act older, and it creates a turmoil in us. We're confused. We're frustrated, and I was one of those teenagers, and still am. That I still play with Legos, and I still play with doll babies, and go to bed with my teddy bear every night. Certain components you don't have to lose, but you have to go into that phase of life that you have to learn responsibility. You have to know responsibility. A lot of us get our first jobs in our teen years. Well, along with that turmoil and confusion and frustration, there's a certain part of us that think we're grown, especially if there's something that we've done for more than 5 years in our lives. Y'all already know that I love to take my crocheting with me everywhere I go. I used to take it to school, okay? I would sit in Spanish class because Spanish, no muy interesante. It just was not very interesting. I'm one of those type of people. Give me the tools that I need, tell me how to use them, show me how to use them, and let me go. And it was too much repetition, but I took 2 years of it. And evidently I saw something then that I didn't, know was going to come into fruition, but a lot of the second language around us is that of Hispanic origin. So it was a good thing I took 2 years of Spanish and 1 year French. Either way, I was also very much an athlete when I was in high school. Ran track, played basketball, softball, football, cheerleader, in the band. Everything that I could do, I did. Well, one of our track meets was in Franklin. I went to school in Suffolk. It was about a 20 to 25-minute drive or ride on the bus to get to Franklin. And I remember the way it was set up. Once you got there, we had to unload the bus. We were teenagers. They were not going to let us go back and forth to the bus. I'm just saying. So we got everything off the bus. I always had my 2 bags. I had my one gym bag, forest green, white letters, FGH. Had the Ranger standing on the front of a Forest Glen High School Ranger. And it had my shot put and my discus in it. It also had my chalk in it. Use chalk for the hands. In my other bag, I had my crochet. So once you got there and everybody got assembled onto the field by your schools, and then after that into your groups, what feature or what event you were participating in, then the announcer would come up and talk to all the teachers or the coaches first, and then he would address the crowd, let everybody know where the certain areas were, depending on how they had their field set up. You would go to those areas, drop your things off, and then wait for your event. They would give you the lineup and other announcements and stuff they had to give. So I go and put my bag over by the shot put discus area, and I go to the bleachers to take a seat. And a lady said to me as I'm sitting here crocheting, "Oh, so you think you can crochet?" Y'all, I got humbled real quick. because I said, think I can crochet. I've been crocheting for over 10 years. Like I knew something. The lady said, "Oh, so you think you know what you're doing?" And she left. I was happy, I thought with the fact that she left. Needless to say, this lady came back probably about 15, 20 minutes later, and she sat beside me. I didn't feel intimidated. I felt like she wants me to show her something. Oh, y'all, I was feeling myself. Now, mind you, this is in, I think, like 78, 79. We didn't have phones. You couldn't go through your phone and flip through pictures. We didn't have digital cameras. You couldn't flash through. We had the either Polaroids or the Kodaks where we had to take the film to the photographer and get it. Yeah. She pulls out of her purse this stack of pictures and she starts laying them out on the bench or the seat right below us. I felt so crochet immature. She pulled out of her bag a spread that she was making, all lace. The design was so intricate. It was so beautiful. Y'all. And it wasn't filet crochet. She was actually designing these elements as she went along. I kept waiting for her to pull out a pattern. And she says, "No, this is my creation. This is what I do." But not only did it marvel me in the work that she had done, it woke something up in me. It made me want to become a designer because I felt like if I put my mind to it, I can do that. I can make my own pictures. I can make my own designs. I can, place my own elements in things and make something beautiful. I know I can do this. So I thank her for that. I thank her for humbling me. Didn't take but one time, y'all. It didn't take but one time. I will proudly tell you that I have been crocheting for 57 years and I'm still a baby. I am still a baby. During my venture here on YouTube, I have learned so much. And to be able to take what I've learned, along with the experience that I have, along with the desire to learn more and to try new things and bring that to you so that everybody can elevate their crochet game, just does me all the good in the world. That's why I say to you, anytime I present a tutorial, if you need any extra help at all, if there's anything that I'm not presenting in a tutorial that you feel I can help you with, please don't hesitate to reach out. Just email me. And I will be more than happy to work with you one-on-one or however we choose to do it. I'm here to help. Okay, so that's my tale for the day. I noticed that no one has said anything in the comments, but what I wanted to go over today, or our question and answer session for today, I wanted to go over crochet abbreviations. I know that it's something that we all probably know, but I want us to just keep them in mind. So if you see YO, what does that mean? Or if you hear somebody say yo, what does that mean? And I don't mean like, yo, what's up? Relative to crocheting, what is YO? Hi, Lena. I didn't know Lena was here. I can't see anything here on my screen. I'm waiting for everything to come up on the TV. So hi, Lori. Hi, Eileen. How are you? Ah, I can't refresh anything. I don't know how to do anything in StreamYard. I don't. I don't know how to do anything in StreamYard. Hey, sis. So, YO is yarn over. Yarn over. And that is simply where you take the yarn. You take the yarn and put it over your hook. Some people do yarn under, and that is where the yarn comes under the hook and you pull through. I can yarn over or yarn under. I'm more comfortable with the yarn over. But let me see, I'll do side with the yarn over so you can see. But you pretty much get the same result in something simple like the chain stitch. There is a slight twist in the middle where where it differentiated. Over on the right hand side toward the bottom, there's a little box. Sorry, StreamYard at the top. There are 2 tabs. One's at the top. Click the one that says chat. I don't see them. I see a book tab, I see the share emblem, and I see the 3 dots. And if I hit the 3 dots, I get download, refresh, information, and page over. View, save, copy link, running in Chrome. Y'all know, it looks a tiny bit different. I'm all over the place and inconsistent with it. It depends on what I'm doing. Now, almost at the top, I also see the chat box, which is underlined. And then I see the banner, create a brand, and the clipboard. But that's all I see. Okay. Okay. But while we're doing that, DC, and I know most of these you know, DC is double crochet. Double crochet is a yarn over, insert your hook into your work, and then yarn over and pull through. And you have 3 loops on your hook. Then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's a double crochet. And you have your single crochet, which is simply put your hook into your work, yarn over, pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, and then you yarn over and pull through both. And you have the half double crochet, which is in between. And that's where you yarn over, insert your hook into your work, yarn over, pull through. Once again, you have 3 loops on your hook, and then you yarn over and pull through all 3. And then you have a treble, triple crochet, treble crochet. And these are all US terms. You're going to yarn over twice. And then you're going to insert your hook into your work, yarn over and pull through, giving you 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through those last 2. And that's your treble. And then you have like BLO and FLO, blow and flow. If you look at your stitches, you have like a V shape at the top of your stitch. At the front of that V, it's called the front loop. At the back of that V, it's called a back loop. So BLO is back loop only. So if you were to single crochet in that back loop only, you insert your hook under that back loop and create your single crochet. If it's front loop only, you insert your hook in that front loop closest to you and create your single crochet or whatever stitch is required. I'm doing all of this on one line. This should be an interesting piece of work when I finish. Okay, so RS and WS. Most of the time they're done in capital letters. RS indicates right side. And when you look at your work, sometimes the shinier or the smoother side, you can't tell them what I just did because I got stitches all over the place. But they look smoother, or that V at the top of your stitches kind of lean towards you. That's your right side. Your back side doesn't look quite as smooth, and the V is tilted away from you. So that's the wrong side, which is WS. Okay, HDC is your half double crochet. H for half, D for double, C for crochet, half double crochet. SC is the single crochet. S for single, C for crochet. TC is your treble crochet. T for treble, C for crochet. ST, stitch. Very simply, stitch. CH is a chain. SLST, one of my favorites, not, is a slip stitch. That's where you insert your hook into your work and you don't necessarily pull it up. You just pull all the way through. So it's pulling through everything. Only your one loop on the hook, and that's the loop that you're working with. Okay, INC. INC is increase. And usually an increase is done by doubling up on your stitch. See, if I had to increase in the second stitch and I'm doing single crochet, then I'm going to create a single crochet, and back in that same stitch, I'm going to make another single crochet. Okay? I need to stop saying that. Y'all help me stop saying okay. I don't know where I picked that up from, but I listened to myself on a couple of my videos and I was like, oh, I have to stop. Okay, so now we're going to go into the DEC. DEC means to decrease. Now, what you do with your decrease, let's say I have to decrease on the second. There are a few ways to do this. In your front loop, you can insert under that front loop, wrap around and insert in the front of the next loop, pull through both of those and have your two loops on your hook and pull through, and you've created one single crochet, decreasing in both. A second way you can do it is to insert your hook all the way under that stitch, pull through, and then insert into the next stitch and pull through, giving you 3 loops on your hook and pull through all 3. So you've decreased that way as well. And the last way that you can decrease is to skip the next stitch and proceed with your stitches. I saw them real quick, Lori. Okay, I tried to. Okay, I tried to. I think I did it in putting the link out there, Lori, to see if we could do it that way. This is new to me, guys. I'm trying. But I did put the link out there. Wait a minute. Let me see what that says. Layout, destination, and title settings. Nope, that's not what I want. I love y'all for hanging in here with me. And I guess y'all see what a kid I can be when I'm trying to do things. But Lori, I put the invitation out there to join me. I don't know. Ugh. I'm bringing y'all up close and personal. Yeah. And it's not. Okay, I'll put you back there. Okay, so I showed you the ways to decrease. Um, and then you have TOG, which means together. So if you see that in a pattern, it means together. SK. I showed you that in the last form of the decrease. Uh, if you see SK, trying to get to where I can show you again, then it simply means skip. So you would skip the next stitch and go into the next one. Now in all my decreasing, I got my little 8 stitches down to 4. SP. SP means space. Usually a space is created when you, let's double crochet it and see if I can show you. Okay, when you chain and skip the next stitch and go into the next and continue from there, that is called a space. So on your next pass, as you go back, they might tell you to single crochet, 2 single crochet in the next space. So you simply go into that space and single crochet. Okay? We're going to call this freeform. Okay. FP. Yeah. FPDC. FP means front post. What you've created in your stitches, especially in your double and your treble, and even in the single crochets and half doubles, that stitch is a post. It's a stitch, but it's a post. So if you have to say front post, double crochet into the double crochet below, then what you're going to do is go into, if you're right-handed crochet, you're going to go in beside the right side of that post, wrap your hook around, yarn over and pull. So your yarn is going to actually pull up behind that stitch. Your hook and your work are going to be to the front. And you complete your double crochet. Now, if it tells you to back post double crochet, then you're going to yarn over and you're going to enter your work from behind. You're going to go behind on that right side for right side crocheters. Wrap your hook around the front, yarn over and pull through. So your work is going to be on the back, but your yarn that you pull through is going to be on the front. And then you're going to work that stitch from behind. And the difference is the front post, your work is right here on the front. The back post, your stitch is behind, and it creates a ridge in the front. So those are those. Of course, we know WIP is WIP, a work in progress. FO is a finished object. BEG. BEG is the beginning. Okay? REM is the remainder. And I think I covered BET. No, it is not the channel. BET means between. And where you see that often, I just recently did it on one of the tutorials that I did for squares. I think the pinwheel. As you're doing your work across, if it tells you to crochet between, you're not going to go in that top stitch. You're actually going to go into that stitch or between those stitches, just like when you did your front post and your back post. You're just going to go between those stitches. So here, I would go between the stitches, not under the V, but all the way between those two stitches, between those posts, and create my stitch. And I think that covers it. I think that covers it. I did change. I did increase. Okay. Okay. So another question or just some trivia for you. What do you think the most popular crochet stitch is? Does anybody have any idea? I'll tell you. The most popular crochet stitch is the double crochet. Why? Because it's a tall, fast stitch that creates a nice, even fabric, making it great for larger projects like blankets and or wearables. Yep, it's the double crochet. Personally, I have fallen in love with the half double crochet too, Leaning. I have. Hello, Dorothy. How are you? Now, because I am a tapestry crocheter, I use the single crochet a lot. I really, really do. But my favorite has become the half double crochet. It really has. I'm so enamored by that. This extra or Timothy X that I'm working on, this is all half double crochet. And what I like about it is that it's so pliable, but it's a good, durable stitch. The Just For Me cardigan that I made is all half double crochet. So you don't get the win factor that you get with the double crochet. So I think over time that most popular might be changing. I think I think it might be changing. The single crochet to me, I can't say that it uses less yarn. Um, to me, between the half double crochet, the double crochet, and the single crochet, quite honestly, I think the half double crochet uses more. I think it uses more yarn. Lots of times, and I frog a lot. Lots of times in me frogging projects, if I'm switching either the single or the double over to uh, the half double crochet, I find that the half double crochet takes most. And I thought that the Single crochet would take less, but it didn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. The half double crochet even takes more than the double crochet. And I think it's because of the thickness. And you would think with that extra element of the second yarn over pull through two, you would think that it would take more, but I really find that the half double crochet and the single crochet takes so much because of the amount of rows it takes to equal everything else. You know, 2 rows of single crochet, I'm sorry, is slightly taller than a half double crochet. It's kind of in between a half double crochet and a double crochet. 2 rows of the single crochet. It's kind of between those two in measuring. And that's using the same size hook, the same amount of tension, which your attention varies from stitch to stitch. That's just being human. But what I try to do when I try to measure things like that, I try to use the tightest tension possible because I know that the looser I go, the more it's going to vary. But if I concentrate on it being tight, then I know these are all tight. And then when you lay them down and measure them, you know, especially when you do the strips, the double crochet being the taller one, I would think that 2 rows of the single crochet would be right where the double is, but usually mine is like a bit shorter than that double crochet. Yes, the double crochet uses less yarn when doing 2 dimensions. Yes, yes, yes. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about real quick. I did a tutorial, a refresher tutorial for the corner to corner. When I show you in there what I do to stabilize the stitches, the reason I do that is because when you put those 3 double crochets on that bar, they tend to slide back and forth and make the hole a little larger. As you care for your mates and you wash them and manipulate them and whatnot, those fibers start pulling tighter and tighter and closer, and it makes the holes bigger and bigger. So when you have those stabilizing stitches on the end, it keeps that middle from pulling so much across, and it just keeps everything a little more secure. That's what I find, and that's why I do it that way. I'm also working on another way so there are not so many holes, and you still have that corner to corner effect by creating or doing the double stack single crochet to make the double crochet. And instead of crocheting into the space, you're going to crochet into the sidebars of that double crochet when you're doing your stitches. So once I get that to a point that I feel I can present that to you all, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But it reduces the holes tremendously. That holes from crocheting in the gaps did a video with a bunch of different stitches. Yeah, there are a lot of them. I mean, Juan has stitch tutorials as well. Tony from TLC. Um, there are quite a few. There are quite a few out there. There are quite a few out there. One of the things that I do is take a stitch and see how I can make it better or more comfortable for me, you know, and how it will look in a finished project done the way I do it. Like the link double crochet, I've tried putting it in different bars or putting the hook in different places instead of dragging that one bar across. Granted, it does make your work, it does close in those gaps, but to me, it not only closes in the gaps, but it shrinks the size. And I wanted to see what I could do to make the sizing pretty comparable to a regular double crochet. So those are the types of things that I do. I did not talk about what we were sipping on today. I don't know if anybody heard me ask my daughter for water. So far today, this is all I've had. I am going to have coffee, however. Yes, your girl was thirsty. Very thirsty. I made a hexacardigan using the, yes, and I was working on at one point the hooded poncho. And of course, y'all know I do my hoods to fit. I don't do the big bulky hoods, which I think my house robe is going to have a big bulky hood. I just think it looks cuter. But I do the ones that look more like the balaclavas, and they fit your head. And the reason I do those is because I use a scooter as transport. And when you have the big hoods on, when you turn, half your face is covered, so you can't see. I don't have the rear view mirrors anymore on my scooter, so I need to see what's coming behind me. And when I turn my head, I don't need my vision to be obstructed. So if I have a hood that fits, when I turn my head, it turns also. So I was making a poncho with that hood on it, rib neck, everything, and I was doing the link double crochet with that. I was. And then there was another one that I was doing that was more like a shrug, and I was using my thermal half double crochet for that. But there are a lot of stitches out there. I love crocheting because of the versatility. I love it because you can make anything from a showpiece to a very elaborate blanket. When I had my car, I was actually working on a cover for my car. And that was my first experience with the link double crochet because I wanted something that was going to keep the weather off of it. And then I went from the car to the truck. I'm like, I am not making one for this truck. No. But I think if I ever get another vehicle, I haven't thought about making one for the scooter because the scooter's stored indoors, and it's usually temperature controlled inside, and I don't have to worry about it being exposed to the elements so much. Now, if I decide to bedazzle my scooter, I would definitely let you all know. My hopes right now is to get another scooter. Guys, let me tell you something. This is not about crocheting. This is about what I have been dealing with for the past 4 years. I have been fighting insurances for the past 4 years because I'm not getting the amount of coverage that I'm supposed to be getting. And when I talk to a person on this level, they're telling me there's something you're not doing. So I have what's called a care coordinator who goes through this with me to make sure every phase is covered. And the most recent one I had, bless her heart, when she was going through it, it got to her so bad, she had to drop my case. She said, when you were telling me about this from the beginning, I thought that you were missing something. She said, these people are really giving you the runaround. I'm like, yeah. And at that point, it had been for 3 years. Yesterday, I called the insurance company shortly before 11:30. It was well after 5. I think it was after 5:30 when I finally got off the phone with them. We were only disconnected once for about a 2-minute period. Guys, 6 hours on the phone. That's a job that I'm not getting paid for. But where they saw I had my little ducks in a row, as they were talking to me, stuff that they should have been able to pull up on the computer. At one point, I had a small piece of this stack right beside me. And I was telling them, I was like, hey, I have the paper that you're asking for. It's just on the other side of the room. My daughter happened to be in here. She bent down and got me the rest of it. I was like, hold on. I got the form you need. I went through and pulled out the form and read it to them. And they were like, yeah. I said, yeah. And I wouldn't get this if I had not been approved for it. This is not the approval letter. This is the letter telling me what the next step is. You don't get this without being approved. And he was like, you're right. So Why am I not getting all my stuff? And the problem is, of course, being disabled, I'm on Medicare. Medicare has the Advantage program, which, of course, they have 4 parts. I think they have 5. They just don't talk about Part E that much. But you have parts A, B, C, and D. Your Medicare covers parts A and B. Your C, however it's covered, whoever covers what. But there's a prescription coverage amount that you usually get an outside source to pay for. In my case, Medicaid. Okay, Medicaid covers that. But then there's also the other part that Medicaid is supposed to cover, which is like those lingering copays or those extra. Medicaid classifies you as not only accepted, but limited or full coverage. I am in Medicaid's computer as full coverage, but I'm in my insurance computer as limited coverage, which they will only cover you a certain amount of time. And you have to keep reapplying. Every time you reapply, every 3 months, you have to recertify for Medicaid. Recertifying for Medicaid, they're like, why are you recertifying? And you're good for a year. Because for my insurance, I have to recertify. Recertify, full coverage. They're showing limited coverage. And I'm like, for the life of me, I don't understand being in a computer era, why the click of a button, the flip of a switch, the blink of an eye now, or just telling it why these two systems can't link. Why have I been fighting this for 4 years? Why have you all been increasing my blood pressure, my anxiety level, triggering my PTSD, making me go on OCD tangents? Why? Why? So after I talked to everybody yesterday, I was able to get the two forces on the phone together so they could tell each other what their computers had. And they're like, I don't know. But of course, nobody sitting at a computer yesterday was able to change anything in the system. All they could do was communicate. It's a mess. And I thought when I was a young adult, that once I reached being a seasoned member of society, that life for some reason was supposed to get easier. I said all of that to say, guys, whatever you're going through medically, fight for it. Fight for it. Do not give up the fight. Make them hear you. Make them see you. You are vital. You are important. You are worthy. You are enough. If it's time for you to apply for disability, do whatever research you have to do, cut out the middleman. I made the mistake of hiring an attorney, and documents were being turned in late. They were asking me to do more than I had to do, driving here, there, and everywhere for this. They had me going to North Carolina to take a psych eval. When my psychologist was trained and certified with disability, used to be on their determination board. So all I had to do was get her to send my information in. But dealing with this outside law firm, so I fired them. You have that right. If you're in that process, you have the right to fire those attorneys. That they will charge you up to that point. If any income has been, if you've been approved. But if you haven't, especially if it's early, I dealt with these people for a year and a half, and it took the last time of them threatening to deny me because my information had not been turned in on time. And I asked them, how can I submit this directly to you? And the lady was nice enough from Social Security Administration to tell me, fire them. That way, everything will come directly to you, and you will communicate directly with us. And it worked. Stop letting these people tell you, oh, you need me. Oh, you need me. No, you don't. Okay. I'm my everything is going haywire. You know what? It's telling me it's time to go. That's what it's telling me. So, with that being done, I'm going to tell each and every one of you, implore each and every one, to beg each and every one of you, please love yourselves. Love yourselves. Love yourselves. Self love is the greatest love of all. You can't love others the way they deserve to be loved unless you first love yourself the way you deserve to be loved. And you deserve the best. Don't forget that Kitty Lane told you and Kitty Lane loves you. And until we see each other again on these YouTube streets, peace out, everybody.